Hello, everyone. My name is Gavin Daynard, and I am a postdoctoral fellow that is placed at the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. I'm going to briefly talk today about Wisconsin's process of making recommended groundwater standards. In Wisconsin, approximately 2/3 of people use groundwater as their drinking water source, and therefore Wisconsin will set groundwater standards in order to protect public health. The groundwater recommended standard process is specified in state statute and is about a 3-year-long task, where it starts where agencies like the Department of Natural Resources or the Department of Agricultural Trade and Consumer Product will identify substances that are either found in our groundwater or potentially may be found in our groundwater in the future. From there, the DNR will then put together a list of these substances and send them to the Department of Health Services, or DHS, to review. At DHS, what we do is we look at the literature and we develop our recommended groundwater standards and then send them back to the DNR for them to propose rules and promulgate this information. At DHS, again, our standard or our process for developing these standards is again specified in state statute, where we gather relative scientific information. It's important to note at DHS, we do not actually do any of the studies ourselves. Instead, we do a giant literature search to understand the toxicity data that is out there. From there, we take this appropriate toxicity data and we plug it into our equations and select appropriate standards. From there, we document these findings and then share these recommendations, sharing them back to the DNR as well to the general public. So in the past couple of years, let's see if I can go to the next slide. Maybe. There we go. In the past couple of years, DNR has asked DHS to review 36 different PFAS chemicals as part of 2 different cycles labeled cycle 10 and cycle 11. When you do a deep dive literature search into the toxicity of these individual chemicals, there is some information that is out there on PFOA and PFOS, those 2 most famous, well-known PFAS. However, there is limited data on the rest of these, PFAS that they asked us to review, as well as those 5,000 other chemicals that do exist. So after we kind of went through all this whole process of the scientific literature, we were able to make individual groundwater standard recommendations for 12 different PFAS. And these ranged anywhere from 30 nanograms per liter all the way up to 450,000 nanograms per liter. So quite a large range. On top of that, we were able to we recommended 1 combined groundwater standard, and that included 6 PFAS, PFOA, PFOS, NetFOC, NetFOSA, NetFOSA, and FOSA. And these were combined because of 2 reasons. So PFOA and PFOS as part of cycle 10 was combined together because they were shown to have similar toxicity effects at similar concentrations, as well as they were potentially synergistic or have additive toxicity impacts. And then for part of cycle 11, we added these 4 new compounds. And the reason we did that is because these 4 new compounds are precursors or compounds that are known to break down into PFOA and PFOS in both the environment as well as the human body.
1 minute.
And as part of the other 36 chemicals, we were not able to make recommendations for 18 different PFAS. And this was just due to a lack of scientific toxicity data. And so altogether, it's important to note that we, were able to set individual groundwater standards because not all PFAS showed the same toxicity at the same concentrations, but as well as we did not set them for all the PFAS because of this lack of scientific data. So for more information on the exact way we made these recommended groundwater standards, I'd push you to these sites. Thanks for listening.